was the situation yesterday? Can you describe for us, please?
I can't explain. Everything happened in my eye. I can't.
How did you manage to escape?
I just.
Did you pull the emergency doors?
No. Emergency door is broken.
Yeah.
My seat is broken.
Yeah.
Then I see the page little bit.
Yeah.
Then I will try to come out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
So, did the aircraft catch fire before you came out?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit fire. After me, I'm out. Then blast.
Oh, okay. So, did anybody help you, or you after that you came out on your own? How did you jump from the aircraft?
I'm not jumping.
Okay.
I just walk out, innit?
Okay.
Then ambulance coming in.
You did walk out on the building or?
No, in floor.
On the floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Inside the aeroplane.
Only there.
Yeah.
We are in the airport, just boarding. Goodbye, India.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
10-hour flight back to England.
What's your biggest takeaway, Jamie?
We've done this already.
On a different thing.
All right. What's my biggest takeaway? I don't know.
Yeah, fascinating. Great. Thanks for your contribution. Okay. Yeah, my biggest takeaway is don't lose your patience with your partner.
Yeah. You're already starting to. You've already snapped at me while we're having chai at the airport. You see, you've learnt nothing.
Going back happily calm.
Can we all agree that if it is Boeing, then we are not going? Because what happened in India is absolutely terrifying. More than 200 passengers and crew members are reported to have died. And that's just on the plane. We'll get to what happened on the ground here in a second because people don't seem to be talking about that part. But the plane, of course, a Boeing 787-8, was carrying 242 people, including 169 Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese nationals, and even 1 Canadian. And there's even some reports coming out right now that somehow, some way, 1 passenger actually survived. Do keep in mind, this is the plane that Boeing says is the aviation industry's best-selling passenger wide-body of all time, carrying more than 1 billion passengers since it was first delivered to airlines in 2011. But as for on the ground, the plane actually crashed into the dining area of the BJ Medical College hostel, leading to the deaths of at least 5 medical students with nearly 50 others injured. I mean, the tail of the plane was literally stuck on top of the building. It's terrifying. But see, here's something that I want to point out about Boeing, right? Last year, a whistleblower's allegations, that man being Mr. Sam Saleypour, prompted the FAA to investigate his claims about assembly defects in the company's 787 Dreamliner. He literally tried telling everybody that he observed shortcuts taken by Boeing, resulting in drilling debris left in interfaces and deformation of composite material. And have you seen how much shares of Boeing have fell? I don't know about anybody else, but it's extremely alarming to me. I mean, look at how many people are saying that they don't want to fly on a plane anymore.
Hey guys, welcome back again and thank you so much for watching this clip. So in today's video we are going to be talking about this recent India airplane crash that just happened. Yeah, because there have been a lot of backlash, a lot of people reacted to this particular incident. So we are going to be talking about this particular guy who happened to be the only solo survivor of this particular crash. Yeah, a lot of people said that the guy was never in that plane, while some people said that with God all things can. It's possible that it was God by his infinite mercy that saved this particular guy, while some people said that it was an AI generated content, while some people said that this guy was right in the building, that immediately the plane crash happened, that he just appeared and claimed it to be one of them. So guys, I was able to gather some few clips of video from different reactors which we are going to be checking out together. So if you're free to watch them and share your thoughts, your opinion, let me know what you think about them in the comment section.
I thought we were done with these plane crashes, y'all, but nope, it just happened again. Something about this crash not sitting right with me, y'all. So this Boeing 787 Dreamliner, supposed to be one of the safest in the world, just went down 2 minutes after flight, y'all, as you can see. So there wasn't no engine fire, there wasn't a bird strike, it just fell out the sky, y'all. And it hit a building, but not just any building, y'all. So this was a flight from India to London. And just a couple of minutes into the flight, the pilot yelled, "Mayday." And y'all know what comes with that. That means some shit was going wrong. And then as y'all seen, it went down. And there were 242 passengers on this plane. And they're all gone, y'all. Like, boom. So here's where it get weird, y'all. Out of all places, the plane crashed into a building that was a doctor's hostel. A medical building, y'all, that was full of interns and medical researchers. And they're saying this was the first fatal crash from a Dreamliner, y'all. That's crazy. I'm gonna keep y'all updated on this situation. Because like I said, it's either a failure, sabotage, or something deeper. And all I know is all 242 passengers on that plane is gone. Their life is over. And it's probably going to be more people from that building that's going to add on to that toll. So my condolences to everyone who was affected by this. This shit crazy, y'all.
The India plane was crashed on purpose. So now that I've read more into the story and how this happened, there was this video that was posted by this guy saying that the air conditioning wasn't working, the entertainment systems weren't working. Now, wouldn't that ring a bell to you if you're the captain of the plane? Oh, the air conditioning's not working. Maybe we should check the plane out. They literally just decided to take off anyways. Now, mind you, this wasn't like a new pilot or anything. Based on what I've read, this guy had 8,200 hours in the air, which is very experienced for a pilot. So this wasn't just I don't think this was just a coincidence. I think this was literally done on purpose. So unfortunately, there was 171 people on board, 169 Indians, 53 British, 1 Canadian, 7 Portuguese, and only 1 person survived, and they jumped out of the plane. Dude, that is horrible. And when they crashed, they literally blew up a bunch of stuff.
The India Airlines plane crash, seat 11A. The guy was never on the plane. I agree with you. He wasn't on the plane. His story changes numerous times. He wasn't on the plane. Where the plane crashed, he came out of that building, or nearby building, and then he's got a bit of rubble on him. He's got injured a bit, and he's made out that he was on the plane, and he wasn't on the plane. The person who was on the plane, 11A, is not here no more. They are with the rest of them. Come on, let's not be stupid here. Let's not be daft. The whole 341 people died, but him. Alright, loves. Interesting. It's not him. You're right, dude. Honestly, look at his story. It changes all the time. He said he was in the toilet at the point of impact. Then he said he was sat down in his seat and he crashed and he just remembered undoing his buckle. One of them, he says he jumped out the fire exit mid-air. What do you think?
You see that Indian plane crash here? You see that one survivor and everyone's going crazy like, yo, how did he survive? How did he... God is why he survived. Yeah? Like, God is why he survived, bro. There'll be some people that will still say to themselves, it's luck. Like, he got lucky. He's a lucky survivor. Bro, he moved seats. He wasn't even supposed to be on that plane. He moved seats into the seat that he was in. Yeah? The whole plane crashed. He is the only survivor. Everyone else died. God's not real. That's what they'll still say. Bro, it's God the reason why he survived, man. Like, that's a miracle right there. God was in control of his life. It was not his time yet.
Guys, do you believe in miracle? In case you believe in miracle, let me know what to think about it in the comment section. I know that with God all things are possible, and I don't know how true is this that guy was included in that plane that just crashed. I don't know, but if this is definitely true, like, oh my God, I think God is wonderful, and above all, God is the one that has final say to everyone's life. If God said that, in fact, if God can make a dry bone to rise again, like, is there anything too hard for God to do? Of course no, there is nothing too hard for him to do. So if that guy was included in this plane crash, I think God was the one that gave him a second chance. I think God was the one that saved him. Well, let me know what are your thoughts, what you think about this video in the comment section.
There's a really dark conspiracy surrounding the guy that survived the plane crash in India. And so there's three possibilities of what actually happened. First of which is obviously everything he said is true. He was on the plane, it crashed, he came to, unbuckled his seatbelt, and walked out of the plane pretty much unscathed except for a few burns and scratches. Which, if you look at the initial explosion when it crashed, I don't want to say is hard to believe, but also it is hard to believe because that's an insane explosion and you were at the epicenter of that and you just walked away. But one of the theories is that he was not even on the plane. And I'm not saying that that is true at all. It's just a conspiracy. But the theory is that he wasn't on the plane, that he got injured during the crash just from being on the ground or nearby, which in this world could be a possibility. The other conspiracy that's going around is that he was on the plane and that somehow he caused the malfunction of the equipment and caused the plane to actually crash. Again, neither of these are fact, but unless this guy is Bruce Willis from Unbreakable, how is it that he was able to survive this plane crash when the plane and the building that it crashed into and everybody else in the plane did not?
The nigga who jumped out of the plane and survived that plane crash, he jumped out. That nigga who was scared to fly and was always paranoid and washes the door and all that shit, this was the one time he was right. He fucking jumped and survived and they died.
People were taking photos of a head from a passenger of the Air India flight. I repeat, I came across a video and there was like 5 different phones. They were all putting the phone, like doing like a shot of the whole head. Basically, it was the head of the passenger on the sidewalk, and they are getting up close and personal, taking videos and taking selfies. Taking selfies with a passenger's head. Imagine being that family member, going online, and by the way, this wasn't even like, I didn't go looking for this, it came on my FYP. Imagine being a family member of somebody on that flight and you are scrolling your FYP and that's what you see. I genuinely just don't understand. I really just don't understand why. I'm actually speechless.
Can we all agree that if it is Boeing, then we are not going? Because what happened in India is absolutely terrifying. More than 200 passengers and crew members are reported to have died. And that's just on the plane. We'll get to what happened on the ground here in a second because people don't seem to be talking about that part. But the plane, of course, a Boeing 787-8, was carrying 242 people, including 169 Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese nationals, and even 1 Canadian. And there's even some reports coming out right now that somehow, some way, 1 passenger actually survived. Do keep in mind, this is the plane that Boeing says is the aviation industry's best-selling passenger wide-body of all time, carrying more than 1 billion passengers since it was first delivered to airlines in 2011. But as for on the ground, the plane actually crashed into the dining area of the BJ Medical College hostel, leading to the deaths of at least 5 medical students with nearly 50 others injured. I mean, the tail of the plane was literally stuck on top of the building. It's terrifying. But see, here's something that I want to point out about Boeing, right? Last year, a whistleblower's allegations, that man being Mr. Sam Saleypour, prompted the FAA to investigate his claims about assembly defects in the company's 787 Dreamliner. He literally tried telling everybody that he observed shortcuts taken by Boeing, resulting in drilling debris left in interfaces and deformation of composite material. And have you seen how much shares of Boeing have fell? I don't know about anybody else, but it's extremely alarming to me. I mean, look at how many people are saying that they don't want to fly on a plane anymore.
If you do not believe in divine intervention, then this video is definitely for you. Now, if you think surviving a plane crash that killed 241 people is incredible, then wait till you hear the backstory. So yesterday, a plane carrying 242 people crashed within minutes of taking off. They were moving from India to London, I believe. But here's the interesting part. 241 people died, leaving 1 person. And this is where divine intervention sets in. So, the sole survivor was supposed to go with them, but he had miraculously changed his seat. And the funny thing is, he hadn't even booked for that seat. And that seat is seat 11A. Now let us make a little investigation. What is A in the aviation world, or what is A when booking your seat? A is Alpha. And what accolade do we give to our divine intervener? Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega. So you cannot tell me this is not divine intervention. This is God. And of course, may the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace. But God intervened in that man's life. Wow. What a story.
Listen, I'm not even Indian, but I felt like using my platform to make this video. We all know the events yesterday of a plane crash in India, and I've been seeing the comments, and there's been nothing but disrespect towards Indians, violations towards Indians, and rude comments, which genuinely just isn't on. We're talking about actual human life here. And I even had a follower reach out saying he wanted me to speak on it because he had family on that plane. And, you know, that's when it really hit home for me, because I was like, wow, this is like, it's real, man. It's real life, and like these things happen, and you know, life is so short. And the last thing people need to do is spread this sort of mentality or things around. India is actually a beautiful country. There's good parts and there's bad parts, just like any other. And if you have something to say, please keep it to yourself, because this year, at least let's try and spread some positivity. I don't even want this to be a minute long. I don't want to profit off anything like this, so I'm going to end it here.
64. There have been 64 airplane crashes in the first few weeks of 2025. Last year, just for some reference, 36 total plane crashes. In 2020, there was just 8. What in the hell is going on here? And we're not talking about just 1 or 2 accidents. We're talking about 6 planes crashing within 48 hours. And we're not talking about just in one part of the world. We're talking that this is happening all over the world. The one in Washington, 67 people gone. Juju Airlines, 300 lives lost. Now, the Philadelphia crash, we're still counting. Planes are statistically the safest way of travel. They're thousands of times safer than traveling by car. So what is going on? And all of a sudden they're dropping out of the sky. Is this really a coincidence, or is there something bigger happening here? Now I want you to think that recently there has been a massive shift. Okay, people are waking up, and you can tell it really with celebrities. Celebrities nowadays are embracing authenticity like never before. Look at Sabrina Carpenter. Look at Zendaya. Even corporate influencers are suddenly real and raw. Now let's get a little bit esoterical. Authenticity is the highest vibration there is. The moment people raise their frequency, fear-based events start flooding the news. And I don't want to get super deep into the conspiracies. I don't want to be the conspiracy guy. Like, my heart goes out to every single person that has lost somebody in these plane crashes. Right now, they need you in fear because low vibrations make you easier to control. But here's the truth. They cannot force you to go into low vibrations. Your focus creates your reality. When you let fear consume you, you attract more of it. When you focus on gratitude, growth, and love, your reality shifts completely. Now, I've been journaling every day for the past 6 years, I believe, and this is exactly why I do it, because no matter what chaos unfolds in the world, I control my frequency, I control my reality, I put my thoughts to the page, and I focus on the energy that I am creating. Have you ever seen those people that no matter what is going on or what life throws their way, it's like nothing phases them? That is because they have a clear picture of where they're going and nothing can sway them off that path. That's what journaling does for you. If you haven't picked this journal up already, I highly recommend it. It is called a 222 journal, and it is built exactly for this, because no matter what chaos unfolds, you can capture your thoughts and create your future. This book was written by a guy worth $50 million, and he wrote this book to rewire your brain for abundance, for clarity, for manifesting the life that you want. And it takes about 5 minutes a day, 2 times a day. Now, they just launched this book on the TikTok shop, and it is 40% off. They're running a flash sale right now. So if you want to take control of your thoughts and you want to create your dream life, this is a golden opportunity. Don't let fear take a hold. Grab yours before they silence this knowledge.
The fact that only one person, a passenger, survived the Air India plane crash is a reminder for you and for me and everybody else that our safety in the air might boil down to the actions we take ourselves. Here are 3 things I do before every flight. First, I count the number of seats between my seat and the exit row. The flight attendants tell you to do this during the safety briefing, which I listen to, and then I do it. Next, I share that number with my friends and family who are flying with me and point out where the nearest exit actually is. And third, I keep my shoes on during takeoff and landing. In the event we have to evacuate the airplane in a hurry, in dangerous conditions like fire, smoke, and debris, I want to be as fast as possible on my feet. And side note, during an emergency evacuation, leave your bags behind. Just get yourself and your fellow passengers to safety.
Never switch seats with someone on an airplane because they don't have good intentions for you. And I ran into a situation like this the other day when I was flying back home from Chicago, and it was a very odd situation. So this lady asked me, hey, can you switch me seats? I want to sit next to my kid, blah, 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 just some weird story. And at first I was going to be like, oh, yeah, doesn't matter. She wants to sit next to her kid. And then I noticed the 2 dudes sitting next to me were 35 years old. So I asked her, I was like, okay, just curious, are these don't seem to be your kids. They're 30, they look like they're at least 30, and you're the same age as them. And then she got really angry, and she was like, how dare you disrespect me? You owe me this seat, blah, 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 blah. Started trying to bring race into it, and it was just very odd. So I was like, look, I was more than willing to switch seats with you because it was just a weird situation or whatever. And you, low-key, have a little bit of a better seat than I do. It was a little bit closer to the front, so better in the sense of you get off the plane a little bit quicker. But I'm like, I'm good. This seems really weird. I don't understand why you want to switch me seats so bad. And she keeps trying, look, I'll give you $20. I'll give you $30. And I'm just like, no, leave me alone. Put my AirPods back in, and she's still standing there trying to talk to me. And finally, the flight attendant just asked her to sit down because I'm ignoring her. And this is probably over a span of 10 minutes. Very freaking weird. I noticed, so they're we're about to take off, and then they say over the intercom, we apologize, we are, TSA is onboarding, blah, 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 blah. I wasn't really paying attention. I had my earbud in. I never listen to what they say, honestly. And I noticed that lady, like, they're like, you need to come with us. Because, like, when there's, like, the police and everything, you're like, huh. And all of a sudden you see, like, she's getting, like, kicked off the plane. She's, like, fighting them and just yelling at them. And I guess she had, like, I don't know for sure, but they said something about fraud. Like, I don't know if it was ticket fraud or what. But everyone in that row ended up getting kicked off the plane for suspicion or something, or very odd. But it basically taught me, like, yeah, just never switch seats with someone on an airplane, because you don't know why they want to switch you seats. To this day, even though it was like a couple days ago, still have no idea what her motive was with that. If it was just trying to use me as some kind of a scapegoat. But have you guys ever had any weird situations like this on a plane? Because I feel like we're starting to hear more and more weird stuff like this.
The plane crash was terrible. I've already told them anything we can do. It's a big country, a strong country. They'll handle it, I'm sure. But I let them know that anything we can do, we'll be over there immediately. But it was a horrific crash. It looks like most are gone. They actually maybe have a couple survivors, which is just heard. But that was a horrible crash. Nobody has any idea what it might be. I gave him a couple of pointers. I said, maybe you'll look at this or that. You know, we saw the plane. It looked like it was flying pretty well. It didn't look like there was an explosion. It just looked like the engines maybe lost power. But boy, that is a terrible crash. It's one of the worst in aviation history, yeah.
I really, really hope this is just me overthinking things and being what's the word when you're a bit of a pessimist? This flight that's gone down in India, heading for Gatwick, all the passengers, all the crew passed on, gone. I've just been listening to an ex-pilot say that the Boeing aircraft has an impeccable safety record, and he is struggling to understand. He just was watching the video of it barely got off the ground, and he, in his words, he was saying he's baffled, because he, as a pilot, there's ways they can, even if the engine failure happens, they can still get it off. I don't know. But I really hope I'm wrong. But I'm suspicious. I'm just a bit suspicious. I really hope that's me being ridiculous. But, oh my God, those poor people.
My heart goes to everyone who has their family member in that plane crash, because, guys, this is a tragedy moment. This is really so painful. Like, if anyone could tell these people that they will not see this particular day that you and I are seeing, I don't think that they would have in any way believe it at all. Oh my goodness, there's this particular one that got me so emotional. I saw the picture of those little children of this medical doctor. I also saw the video clips of this particular girl that just gets married. Her husband is a UK based, and she was just traveling to the UK for the first time to meet with her husband, and eventually it all ended on that particular day. Oh my God, my heart really goes to every family that lost their loved ones. Guys, I saw this particular one of these two friends. They were just, I think it was the second clip of this video, they were just sharing a beautiful moment, saying that their plane is about to take off, and they never knew that that was going to be their last video. Guys, do you know that every moment that you witness is a privilege? It is a privilege, and it is a grace from God. Yeah, this is the reason why you should keep on giving thanks, glory to God Almighty, who has given you the breath of life. Because it's not because we are too holy, but I think we are just so privileged to witness this day. So may God forgive all their sins and accept their souls and console their family ones, their loved ones, give them the heart to bear the loss. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and please feel free to drop a prayer for these people that departed to the glory of God.